Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's about 8:30, and that is the Italian Thai building is just off to the left here. Water taxi pier. Looking off in the direction of, I don't know. I took that water taxi right there to Bangkok shopping mall in Lat Phrao. I'm standing almost at the corner of Phetchaburi, Soi 38/1. Which turns into, if you go in the opposite direction, Sukhumvit Soi 39 and pops out right at the Phrom BTS. I'm not going to film the whole way down. I did a couple of those videos. It's probably a good 2-mile walk, at least 2 kilometers. But I'll give you a little peek around the water taxi area down here, and then I'm going to jump on a motorbike and head back home in the Phrom area. Not exactly sure. The hours posted on the sign say the water taxi goes until 9 p.m. but Boone told me the last boat you can catch from here heading off towards Lat Phrao where she lives is 8:20. So again, that's going to be some local knowledge. Just rode the water taxi at night. That was a first. Kind of crazy shooting through like this bridge I'm standing on. They have 3 pylons and they just kind of shoot through it 40 miles an hour. You can see the dredger or whatever that piece of equipment is on that barge. They're doing some kind of construction along the route. And there's a Wash Me Now car detailing place. And there are no shortage of higher end Japanese restaurants. I see Wagyu, or I guess that's Wagyu, Takatown. This is a very large complex. What is it, 4 or 5 huge towers? The Supale Orient. Every time I go by here, there must be a few international schools in the area, because I'll see a half dozen flags hanging off the balcony. Brazil, the UK, US, etc. Oh, and it says it's a service residence. I assumed it was a condo. A little bit higher rates on the service residence. You can do 1 month at a time, usually. 1, 2 bedrooms starting at 33,000 Thai baht. Across the way, living at the city resort. There's a Fresh Mart down below, maybe 20 stories high. And maybe it's not 2 kilometers down to Sukhumvit. It just seems like it. It's a long walk, and every time I'm in a car, traffic's moving now, but coming from the direction of Sukhumvit heading towards Phetchaburi, this road is always jammed. That's why maybe it seems so long for me. I guess if you figured out the local system, I know they have these little mini vans. I don't know what they are. It looks like a little shrunken up van that holds maybe 6 people in the back. They're kind of piled up at the top of Soi 39. If you were to jump in one of those, I'm sure it's super affordable to get down here. I wouldn't personally want to walk from BTS Phrom down here every day, but there are a ton of people that live back here. And I forgot to point out at the bottom of the living at city is the Maison Philippe French Bistro, and you'll find his bakery products at the Via Markets all over town. And this looks like an older building with huge balconies. I would say you might be able to get a deal, what is it, in the Mono Tower, in a place like this, but not really in Phrom, close to a Sok and all. You're just gonna pay for a large unit, older or not. And this is taking a peek over at some beautiful buildings on Sukhumvit Soi 41. I like the looks of that Mono Tower, M-A-N-O Tower. It has those wraparound balconies, and if you're lucky to get a corner unit, you can see the living room and the balcony to the bedroom are connected. I have a somewhat larger unit at 52 meter, and it still just has the tiny little balcony. By the time you put an air conditioner and a washing machine out there, there's enough room for one person to stand and maybe spin in a circle. And this large tops is where you would shop in the area. Okay, I'm not as far from Sukhumvit as I thought. When you see cars coming around the corner here, it's because when cars go off to the left, I believe it turns into a one-way, and these cars coming around the corner here, they're now heading off in the direction of Phetchaburi, but they have to kind of wind around down by Soi 33, Soi 31, and this road, if you were to take a right on it, I think it's a two-way road, I think. You can make your way down towards Sok. I think it even pops out near Soi 23. Bourne and I had a little bit of fun at the Japanese batting cages on top of the Doki Doki building on, is it Ekamai Soi 10? But they're just plastic balls and it's more for fun. But real batting cages right behind this Tops Food Hall, there's the real deal. Hey, no, I was wrong. This is one way coming off from the Soi 31 area. Over here is a Wine Connection and a Fuji Japanese supermarket. So those are two nice shopping options in the area. Right on the corner is one of the Central Point buildings. And I don't like to move too fast in the dark. It's just too small a sensor in this phone, but that is the one way. They are turning in the direction of Phetchaburi, where I just came from. Over here's the Fuji and a bunch of motorbikes to zip you down to Phrom BTS. I'd guess, oh, I'm good, thank you. I'd guess 20 baht, but I'm not positive. But we're gonna go around this way. You make a little S-turn, head off to the right, and we'll be down at Sukhumvit 39. And it's rare to have street signs, but I'm going to guess this is where it changes from Sukhumvit 39 to Phetchaburi Soi 38/1. And I was wrong about those condos. They're not on Soi 41. They're here at the end of Soi 39. I forgot it made that little S-turn. And here's the Regents on the Park 3. I believe there's a Regents on the Park on my street, Sukhumvit 26. Right at the base, it's always nice to have a 7-Eleven. And here's the main entrance for the Central Point Phrom. And this area is one way, like I remembered it, and then it goes two-way down by the Japanese secondhand store, Treasure Factory. It is a nice night. What is it, going on 9 p.m.? I guess it's 80 degrees. Nice little breeze. No complaints. Not exactly sure what this is. The Stream of Arts to Foster the Artist Foundation. I know I've walked by in the daytime and there's some kind of art collective happening. There's kids in there painting and more professional operations. And here's a little side soi. It just dead ends right there. But I love these little sois that just have the 6- and 8-story buildings. They're kind of built with trees covering the whole deal. That's what Boone says. She lives in a jungle apartment. I'm always getting on her on a hot day. Hey, turn on that air conditioner. She says, I don't need it. I'm living in the jungle. I keep forgetting about this Big Tiger restaurant. So many places I need to get out and explore. And it's pretty dark, but there's an example of smaller units in an 8-story building. It looks like they have a pool on the roof. And that was a side view of the Maestro 39 residence. I'll get the name of this building next to the Maestro as I walk up from here. Not an unreasonable walk up to Phrom. I'd say a solid 10 minutes. And once again, a little dead end side soi off of 39. I love the idea of just having a super quiet place right in the busiest section of town. It's the Siamese building, 39. Next door is the Pacific Residence. And I don't know if we can see it in the dark here, but that prime mansion on 39 has some beautiful balconies. Some of them look like they have 2 balconies. Oftentimes you'll have the 2-bedroom with the 2 balconies, and across the way, the smaller balcony on the 1-bedroom. Now 39 makes this little turn off to the right here, and I started filming in the dark. And here you go. We're gonna make another little S-turn, and then we'll be able to see Sukhumvit way off in the distance. Well, and this banner says the Tops Food Hall is open from 7 in the morning until 10 p.m. That's good. Oftentimes the Big C and Lotus, they don't open until 10 a.m. Now, with that being said, it looks like traffic's coming to a stop here. So yeah, I'm back on track with, there's oftentimes traffic on this Soi 39. The Tops at the top of Sukhumvit 41 near my friend Stella's Secret Bar, it's 24 hours. And the Via Market at the top of Soi 33/1 near O'Shea's Pub, it's also 24 hours, so good for night owls like me. Yeah, sometimes a guy just needs to go buy some bread flour and make some pizza dough at 3 in the morning. Now, you can't see Sukhumvit at the end, but I I was going to say that large building there is Sukhumvit, but I think that's actually on the other side on Soi 24. So not that far, and we'll be at BTS Phrom Phong. Again, being on Soi 39, I don't think you're going to get any kind of a deal, but these mansions are usually apartments as opposed to condos, and you can just see those beautiful balconies. People have made fun of me in the comments. Oh, Joe's talking about the large balconies again, but you're just not going to have a beautiful large balcony like that on a little tiny 28-meter unit. And now we're getting into the area of all the restaurants. What is that? Tate Roy? Tate Roy? Thai Eatery and Bar? Sorry, I need to put my glasses on. It's Roti in the Bangkok Trading Post Bistro and Bar. And they were just showing a traffic sign of the traffic in this Phetchaburi to Sukhumvit area. Now they're just showing food. Let's keep walking. I'm feeling a little bit of tiny bits of drizzle, so I might only have 10 minutes left. I'm not sure if that sign's coming out in the low light. 137 Pillars Suites and Residence. And there's another one, Juni's, at the end there. Oh, I think that's a restaurant. But this 137, really nice. One down on the left is something called the Yada condo. 6 stories, looks huge. And I was wrong again. I thought it went two-way down by the Treasure Factory, but it's, oh, that is the, where am I? I was gonna say, is that the Treasure Factory on the right? Nope, it's not, but I think it's up ahead a very short distance. But right here, these folks heading off to the right, they're going to be able to connect down to 33, 31, 23. I think the sign says Soi Plonchet. I've been through here hundreds of times on a motorbike. There's all kinds of interesting restaurants and steakhouses back here. This is the Biohouse building on the right with a Starbucks on the bottom level. And I watched them build this opera restaurant. It's an interesting little restaurant, wine bar, I guess, Bottles and Beats. Right next to Bottles and Beats, another 7-Eleven. And I was talking to a new buddy up at O'Shea's. He lives off this Soi Phrom C1. He really likes it. Again, you're in the heart of Bangkok and one of the busier, nicer areas, yet a 10, 15-minute walk away from the BTS. And here, I think I said it was 10 minutes way back in the way. That was more like a 15-minute walk. From here, an 8 to 10-minute walk to get up to the BTS. But he lives off to the left, tucked away up a dead-end Soi, and he says it's great just being back there in a super quiet area, yet in less than 10 minutes you're in the heart of it. You can see all the beautiful high-rises right near Phrom Phong BTS, maybe some of the more expensive condos in town, just very, very deluxe buildings. More Japanese food, Japanese barbecue, the Matador, the Phrom Phong mansion. Right now we're getting very close to the BTS. Way off in the background, if you see the Mercure Hotel, that's at the top of Soi 24. So that's on the other side of the BTS tracks. Right here on the right where that, whatever it is, the cell phone billboard thing, the Japanese secondhand store Treasure Factory is right below. And this little side Soi going off to the right, next to this, I always say the name wrong, it's either Legilian or Leculian building, beautiful. But right there where that car is making a right, you will pop out on Sukhumvit Soi 35 on the side of the M Quartier. And until 10 p.m., there is a little kind of a, it's not hidden, but it's a little shortcut that pops you out on Soi 33 and a half by the Fuji Market. They rolled down the doors. I think it's owned by Fuji Market, but they allow people to cut through there. And you're right at the Royal Oak, O'Shea's, Robin Hood, all those fun spots, the Laughing Tigers down on that street. Yeah, just an easy walk down that street. Where you see the lights at the end going left, you'll practically be at the M Quartier when you make that turn. And I've did 2 or 3 videos including this Treasure Factory. This is probably the largest around town. There's another one across from the W District in Prakanong, but this one has really good selection. There's nothing giveaway or Goodwill prices in there. But if you're looking for a good Callaway TaylorMade driver, It might be an 8-year-old version, but you'll get it for a fraction of the cost of the pro shops at the country clubs around town. And that's some good advertising. I've gone in there exactly for those chicken wings, and they were delicious. There's a little string of Japanese restaurants and karaoke spots. And I think that's a Honda Monkey. Those are cool little bikes. And the tuk-tuks are hard at work. They're trying to make a living. He just pulled over. Hey man, where are you going? He's not trying to scam me. If I would have said, hey, drive me all the way to my condo, I'll give you 100 baht. 99% sure he'd say, let's go, let's roll. These guys, they get a bad reputation for want to rip everybody off, you know, put you in the tuk-tuk, and I'm gonna drive you to my brother-in-law's gold shop, etc. I've encountered that maybe one time out of 100 or more tuk-tuk rides. So I don't know. I guess if you're kind of like, hey, you know, how much does it cost to go from here to there? Just start with offering 100 baht, and he'll counter with 200. And okay, I usually don't really argue over a 50 baht difference, but sometimes Boone will say, no, 150, and then off we go. But very rarely, even by myself, have I had one of those tuk-tuk guys, you know, say something crazy. It's maybe happened once where I know a fair price is 200 baht, even though it's kind of a long distance, and the guy said something like 1,000 baht. I just kind of laughed, and then he immediately said, oh, okay, how about 500 baht? And I just kept walking at that point. And this is a really nice building, the Royal Castle. And getting back to those tuk-tuks, yeah, after that little incident, the next guy who came along was more than happy to drive me from, it was like the Asia Teak area, so way down there on the Chao Phraya River, all the way towards Terminal 21, 200 baht. And there's the Royal. Every time I'm down here at the treasure factory, I'll see vans dropping off kids, so this must be some large size units. And I've been calling this beautiful building the Le Rafine. There's 2 or 3 of them around town for years, and somebody politely corrected me, hey man, I like your videos, but it's not the Le Rafine. And I'm already forgetting how he told me to say it. I think Le Rafine? I don't know, but I do know they have small swimming pools and jacuzzis on many of those balconies, so that is a very high-end, beautiful building. And it kind of makes sense. That sounds French to me for maybe the refined building. I don't know where I came up with Le Rafine. I think I kind of put a Spanish twist on everything. Forgot to point this out. I think it's the Noble on 39. And just getting our boundaries way up in the distance, you can see the green Holiday Inn. That is at the top of Sukhumvit, Soi 22. And here's the Weber barbecue store. I've mentioned it several times. I wish I could have even a small hibachi kind of barbecue on my balcony, but that seems to be a no-go. I've never even seen gas grills down by the pool area at any of the dozen condos I've stayed at in Bangkok. Yeah, I don't do a ton of cooking, but I like to burn some steaks on the grill once in a while. Here's a little side view of, I'm forgetting the name of the building. Let me get it when I walk up there. And it's the Grand 39 Tower. And again, I'm forgetting how he told me to say it. The Le Rafine, perhaps? However you want to cut it up. It's an expensive building. Beautiful. Equally nice and very close to the Phrom BTS. I believe that is the Diplomat building. And no doubt many diplomats on high expense accounts and per diem are living there. The Le Rafine? I don't know. I know there's another one up on Sukhumvit Soi 24. And there's one other, maybe it's on Soi 31. And on a very small side Soi is the My Porch Music, My Porch Karaoke. And plenty of little Japanese and different, what is that, pizza? Japanese pizza? Now see, I'm sure this is going to be crazy unaffordable right here near the Phrom BTS, but this is my idea of a really nice setup. It's a 4-story walk-up. It looks like they have some kind of business down below, but then a set of stairs going up to 3 stories of apartment, and you probably have your own private roof. I would love a setup like that, but yeah, that is gonna be well over 100,000, if not 200,000 baht to rent in this area. More Japanese on the other side of the road. Yeah, a setup like that would be ideal once you start I don't know, slowing down and you want to live in a more mellow area, you head off to Pattaya or Hua Hin and kind of on the outskirts of town, maybe you can rent something like that affordable. You know what? I said that building was the Diplomat. It's not. It's the number 39 building, and the Diplomat is just off to the left of it. Huh, I thought this used to be some kind of Isan food. Now it's turned into a Japanese place? Huh, that seemed to have changed in the last month. And we are practically at Sukhumvit at the very end there where you see the UOB. That is on the other side of the Sukhumvit Road, and maybe a train will come by in a second. The Phrom BTS is just from here, a 2-minute walk to the right. And here's a banner for, what's it called? The Ma Vista, starting at 70 million baht. What is that? $2,100,000? I'm sure they're going to be beautiful. It's feet from the Phrom BTS, just up here on the corner on the left. And I'm not sure how far that walk was. I said I wasn't going to film it the whole way down, and I ended up doing it. I did it in flip-flops, so no complaints. But I'm gonna put it at about at least 2 kilometers. There's this beautiful building tucked away in the trees, and that one is already built. I forget the name. I think the actual address is on Sukhumvit, but that Ma Vista is popping up right next to it. And I think it says, okay, yeah, there's only going to be 45 units. I think they're all penthouse residences. It says that right in the sign. When I keep messing up, that's the Sansiri by 39 on the right and the Diplomat on the left. Yeah, this Diplomat, it's no joke. With a name like the Diplomat, it must be nice. And in between here and Sukhumvit are a bunch of little massage places. There's Tokyo Joe. It's a higher end clothing and purses resale shop. There's an old, is it Coca, C-O-C-A restaurant? I think it says since 1963 up on the right. And that Ma Vista is going to be down on the left, right on the corner of Sukhumvit and Soi 39. And I've been up this street 1,000 times. I've never noticed that My Bakery. But whenever I'm out looking for a bakery, I head to Custard Nakamura right there by the Royal Oak on Sukhumvit Soi 33.5. And there's a nice little, call it street food or mini outdoor restaurant. Now anybody's welcome, but this is the Diao. I'll call it a Japanese karaoke or snack bar. Peeking in the window, I see a couple of expats sitting there. Again, they're open for business, but don't be surprised if a van of Japanese or Korean businessmen come pouring in and the karaoke starts. And that building was the Vittorio, which is going to be next to the Ma Vista. Again, this big beautiful building, I'm forgetting the name. It is up on Sukhumvit. And there'll oftentimes be a dozen of these little minivans to race you down Soi 39. I think I mentioned that when I was down by the water taxi. I don't know what they cost. I know they're not going to take off when you're the only person that jumps in the back. They're not really like a bot bus in the Pattaya area. They just sit there and fill up. Now, whatever time it is, 9:30 this time of day, maybe 2 or 3 customers is enough to get the thing moving, but I'm not sure how it works. And there's that Coca residence I said since 1963, since 1957. And here's a little artist rendering of what you're going to get for 2.1 million US dollars. And I made my way up to Sukhumvit, and the BTS tracks is just above me. I live just up the way. But I was going to head home and do a little editing, but I just walked around for a good 2.5, 3 hours maybe. I'm gonna treat myself to a few cold ones over at O'Shea's off to the right here. One of my favorite little restaurants, Imchan, right under the Phrom BTS. It's nothing special. It's fast food. It's cheap, decent food. I'm not a huge street food guy. I mean, I'll have it, but Bono walk by, whatever, and grab a couple little bags of soup and take it home. Myself, I don't know. I really don't like eating soup out of a little bag with a rubber band, but maybe that's just me, when I could sit here at Imchan for a whole 10 baht more and have it served up to me in a bowl. And it's 9:30 p.m. Just giving you a little look at the traffic here in one of the busier sections of town. That's Sukhumvit Soi 24 on the other side of the street. the Emporium Mall straight ahead, the Emportier Mall off to the right. Just up the way is the M-Sphere Mall at the top of Sukhumvit Soi 22. Benjasiri Park in between the mall and 22. And I know before I moved over to Bangkok, I liked watching YouTube videos just showing me the city. I know what the red light areas look like and all, and yeah, I'll stick my head in there once in a while. It's kind of like some crazy Vegas action, but just the layout of the city and where a good place to start looking for a condo, that was what was important to me. So if you find any value in that, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm out and about. I mean, every now and then I'll show me and the guys at the bar, or me and Boone, my girlfriend, out and about. But for the most part, it's a lot of street tours. And I kind of broke it down into categories. There is a Soi Sukhumvit. This is the more popular expat area. Kind of starts down Soi 1 and goes to Soi 101. But then Sukhumvit keeps going. I mean, you can find it in Pattaya and points beyond. But in this area, anyhow, I did videos on all the streets. So check out that playlist and put in Soi 39 and 3 or 4 or 5 videos might pop up. Hey, so thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I'd ask you to subscribe if you have not, if once again you're finding any value in the channel. I would probably turn off the notifications because right now anyhow I'm putting out a video every day, and I did that for over a year, and then I had to take 2 months off to go back to California, and now I've been putting them out over a year, not over a year, over 4 or 5 months now. So I don't want to be that painful guy who's giving you a notification every day, but yeah, if you're watching some of my videos, they'll pop up. I know a lot of different YouTubers say, hey, please turn on that bell notification so you'll be informed when I put out a new video, but I'll just give you a heads up. I'm putting out a video pretty much every day because this is my little hobby. I used to be a mailman, so getting out and walking 10 kilometers a day, it's just not that big a deal to me. It kind of keeps the juices flowing. That's looking across the way at the Emporium Mall, and I don't know what that walk was. It kind of felt like it was over 2 miles, and hey, I did it in flip-flops, and that was the 3rd video I did today. So there you go. Call me OCD or whatever it is. I'm just out and about, getting my exercise. I don't hit the gym as often as I should. I swim my laps, but for a guy with probably in need of a knee scope right now, I'm doing pretty good. Out walking around as much as I can, and I'm taking the camera along with me. So you have a good evening, and there will be plenty more videos on the way. From Bangkok, Thailand, we'll see you later.